Because see, I was going to make the new thumbnail for the new season.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start doing video for the new season. You know, I had all these great ideas. And then my brain is just like, you know what? Let me just throw like a couple wrenches in here.
Oh, yeah.
As if things were going super great as it was,
Mm-hmm.
you know? It'd just be like, here, dodge some spikes.
I mean, you know, as you're describing it, I do relate to the feeling, not in the same way, but you know, I know the feeling.
Yeah, this shit is, yeah, it's rough. Hey, what's up? It's the DeadEndRoad Show, episode 100 friggin' episodes. I don't like doing retrospective things, so I won't do it. But yeah, I think into the summer it'll be like 3 years doing this.
Yeah,
right?
For me, I mean, you've been doing the podcasting in some form or another for much longer.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But I mean, like this incarnation of the show.
Yeah, I think so. 2021. Yeah.
3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, the ups and downs. You left for a couple months and, you know, that whole thing. And I did at least 2 solo shows, right?
I think it was a bit more than that.
Was it? I don't remember. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, 100 episodes. That's pretty crazy. I got this guy, and this is actually not one of the dead letters that I have here that I'm going to talk about in a second. But I have this guy, like one of these marketing spam emails. It's like, you've done 100 episodes and you've only got 2 reviews on iTunes. It's like, yeah, I know, man. Like, are you negging me? You're like, this is not going to make me use your marketing service.
That's actually news to me.
Like,
I didn't know we had 2 reviews.
I don't even know if we have that many, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Do we have 1 review?
I don't know if it's a review. Like, I don't know if he was talking about reviews or ratings, because we have a couple ratings. We don't have reviews.
I think I rated the show on one of the platforms.
Probably Spotify.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that you can't rate the show on Spotify unless you use the actual Spotify app. Like, you can't use it on the web player or on the desktop player.
Oh.
It has to be the mobile version.
Interesting.
Because I wanted to give myself the pity rating, and they won't let you do it unless you download the mobile app.
Well, if I remember correctly, I think I gave it like a modest 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to be too biased. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I think about the marketability of having a thumbnail with Bud Dwyer about to shoot himself through the head, and you know, it's just something to think about sometimes.
Yeah, but we had as many ratings before that thumbnail. So
yeah, I guess that's true. I suppose that's true.
I don't know. I don't know if that thumbnail is like tipping the meter.
To what? Irrelevancy?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's going to be changing anyway. I just got to do it. I just got to sit down and do it for the new season. But yeah, 100 episodes. I feel 100 years old, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into a dead letter. And wouldn't you know it, I closed my inbox because that's how I'm functioning. So previously, I've gotten emails from, again, like spam marketers telling me that I'm in the hospitality business and they want me to go to like conferences or whatever. But this is a new one. This is a whole new one. I don't understand how they've miscategorized me this greatly or where they even got this from. This is from a Rachel Brown. Hi. I checked your website and was interested in the hormone replacement therapy you offer. What? I don't think you checked the website all that well.
I mean, I'm
because I think
100 episodes is a lot to keep track of. I must have missed this particular one.
Yeah, I think if you do a Control F on my website, I don't think you'll see the words hormone anywhere. I'm Rachel from Wishpond. We work with podcast production companies, so I thought I'd reach out. I'd love to explain in more detail how Wishpond can help you get more clients. Do you have 10 minutes for a quick chat over the next few days? Thanks.
I'm listening.
Rachel.
I'm listening.
So somehow aware of podcasting, right? That's in the realm of what I do.
Yeah, I feel like the everything after the hormone part was pretty accurate. It kind of just reflects what we were just talking about, you know, growing the podcast business here.
Yeah. What about the thumbnail featuring Fred Durst and Bud Dwyer sort of screams hormone replacement therapy? I don't know. I'm stumped.
Well, did you follow up and have the 10-minute conversation?
I didn't follow up.
Oh, they did.
They did. And then this was like a couple weeks later, they just said, worth a chat? And I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because you think that I am selling like heavy grade medical supply or like am a medical facility called DeadEndRoad. If anything, I'd be a crematorium or a funeral home.
That name would be a little on the nose, though, a little insensitive.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I'd be in the Bob's Burgers universe, but like still.
You sell children's books. I do not know where this came from.
Right. And then a couple days later, would you be interested in learning more? Thanks.
Oh, Rachel. So a second follow-up.
And then on Tuesday of this week, hi, I wouldn't be taking your time if I didn't believe Wishpond would benefit Dead End Road Media. But again, if you know the word media is in there, what the hell is going on with the hormone replacement shit?
Maybe it's just like a way to get you curious enough to respond.
But that's like so extreme that it's incredibly off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not even in the same ballpark. You're not even playing the same sport. We don't share a facility, you know? It's not like when the Raiders and the Athletics shared a facility, you know? This is two completely different universes.
Yeah, you're not getting tackled by a linebacker on dirt, you know? You're not, yeah.
So this is the kind of email that I get nowadays. It used to be like very, very much robotic kind of thing. But now I get this kind of thing.
Now, do you think this is a real person?
I do, but I think they're like a scam company.
Sure. But it's at least like a real person behind the scam, which honestly, in today's day and age, is a little refreshing.
It is actually. Yeah.
With the dead internet and all that.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. If only I had the mental faculties this week to get into some of that, because I've been doing some reading. Oh man. But
I've been getting TikTok videos of this guy tracking the rapidly expanding number of AI Jesus photos that have been taking over Facebook.
Oh, yeah, those are some freaky things.
And they just get progressively weirder and more absurd.
Yeah. They keep giving Jesus, like, breasts.
I mean, there's truly a scenario for everything involving Jesus. And
yeah.
It's pretty wild. And then on top of that, there are just thousands upon thousands of comments that mostly just say amen in the comments.
Oh, sure.
And those seem to also not be accounts tied to real people. Those are just like bot accounts.
Unfortunately, you would be surprised.
Well, at least that's the takeaway that I saw on this. I don't know.
You would be surprised. I have a religious grandmother who would read obviously fake, like, religious stories about like supposed miracles that happened to like destitute children, sick children, veterans, that kind of like obvious emotional manipulation.
That's kind of where these started, right? It was around that framework, but then as I guess the AI algorithm continues to progress, it just gets more and more unbelievable. And like, you have now Jesus with like crab claws on the beach, and like, you know, Jesus getting chased around by like the devil and all the like just all these very strange thing. Like, there's like Jesus made out of plastic bottles, but also it does like the actual photo doesn't conform to any laws of like physics or any, like, it's all very, you know, it's just AI nonsense that's being crapped out.
Yeah. What's great is that it's just sort of a return to the Raptor Jesus meme from like 2006, you know? Just
but
inching
sure.
closer to that. Like that old friggin' like top text, bottom text meme.
Almost 20 years ago.
Yeah. Here, I got fucking know your meme. This is totally worth copy and pasting to send to you. That shit was all over MySpace.
Yeah, this one must have slipped by.
So yeah, we're just inching. We're returning with a V back to Raptor Jesus through the artificial intelligence. That's just sort of like recycling its own feces.
That's a good way to put it.
So I was given a task to bring back Dating is Dead, and so that's what I've done. And there's a lot here because I have found some shit, and I don't even know quite where to begin. So let's begin like we used to with some stuff I found on some dating sites. And because the reason I put this segment on the back burner for a while was because like most of my segments, it eventually bums me out. Which is what happened to Dating is Dead. The stuff I saw was no longer interesting. It was sort of just sad. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I stopped doing it. And I also did feel weird about the dynamics of me just being on the site for content. And then I did feel weird that I couldn't get dudes involved sounds off. But like if I changed my profile to show dudes, then it felt like I was catfishing gay men. So I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
So as we will see, there is kind of a solution to that, but we will begin.
Okay.
So these first ones are from Hinge because I had to stop using OkCupid because that was my go-to for like the weird shit. But then again, it got too sad. And so if nobody is familiar with Hinge, but I don't know why people wouldn't be because it seems to be the popular one now. So you get a prompt and you could respond to the prompt. And there's no really like about sections, right?
I never made it there myself because I genuinely did not have enough good photos to fill their minimum requirement.
Sure. Yeah. So this prompt is never have I ever, which I don't think people do properly. Like never have I ever supposed to be like the game, you know?
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to like sort of give some options or whatever.
Something that you have done and that you expect other people haven't done.
Right. People do the opposite. They think it means I haven't done this thing.
Yeah, that's, yes, the opposite.
Yeah. So the prompt is never have I ever. And this person put had soup. Just feels like it would taste like flavored water and then an upside down smiley face. This is an affront.
It is. It's just, it's ignorance at its finest.
Yeah. How do you not? Okay, so like this is a 28-year-old, by the way.
It's incredible, actually, to have gone that long on this earth
without having soup. Like, what was your college experience like? You haven't had ramen?
The privilege that comes along with it.
Yeah, like what is going on? You've never had a can of soup. What is happening?
You've never been to Olive Garden. You always got the salad. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Like come on. This is insane. Every culture has soup.
That's true. Every single one.
Like, yeah.
It's universal. Well, it's universal minus this person.
Exactly. They're the outlier. And like flavored water, it's not like fucking LaCroix. That's not what soup is.
It's kind of wild because, plenty of people don't like soup. I mean, they're incorrect, but they at least have that opinion based on the fact that they've tried it before.
Yeah, this is a bizarre intuit. It just feels like it would taste like flavored water.
They must have been subjected to some really bad soup within their vicinity that would make them feel that way, right? Because like the
soup has stuff in it. There's vegetables, meat.
Maybe they're just thinking of like chicken broth.
Yeah, but then that's not soup. That's what you get going.
It's an ingredient. Yeah.
Yeah. Soup has stuff.
Soup does have stuff.
Like I guess like if you're having tomato soup, even that tastes like tomato.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like water.
No. It's not like you forgot to shake the ketchup bottle,
Oh God. Oh. Yeah, like that. Yeah, this fucked me up.
Very funny because this might be your strongest reaction that you've had to a dating profile.
It's just insane. It's insane. Well, like soup is one of the few things that I can cook really well. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, you could change this person's whole worldview.
I don't think it's worth it. I don't think the ignorance. There's like some people you have to just give up on, right? Like there's a lot of people who deserve redemption and second chances. I don't think like it's a bridge too far,
They just haven't found the right soup.
I don't see how that's possible. There's so much friggin' soup. I think a can of Campbell's would change their mind.
So, you didn't swipe right on this one, I'm guessing.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I know a perfect idea for a first date.
Sure.
Yeah, that is it's baffling, really. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I would almost call bullshit on this.
It's such a specific thing to like make up, though.
That's what I mean. I think they're just trying to be like have a clever little joke there.
What's clever?
Well, it's not, but in their
saying
eyes.
that you've never had soup.
It's attention grab. You know what it might be? It might be like a conversation starter. It's very attention grabbing. It made its way onto a podcast as the subject matter. I think maybe that's like because it's hard to stand out. It's hard to stand out on the dating apps.
I guess I just don't think you want to be known as the person that is anti like soup in such a way. Not even anti soup, anti the thought of soup.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And like being the person who has misconceptions about soup, has a complete misunderstanding of the concept of soup, thinking that soup is more like iced tea than a food.
I did try coconut water recently. Didn't like it.
I don't think I've ever had coconut water.
Yeah,
I don't like coconut.
Well, that definitely would play a part then. Yeah, it's just kind of like flavored water, and it doesn't taste. It tastes like it's like dirtied water. I just don't like it at all. But that's what comes to mind with this person's description of what they believe soup to be.
Yeah, I had this, and I can't call it juice. I had this apple water that my sister had, because it was supposed to be like no sugar, no calories or whatever. And she's a big fan of apple juice. And so she got this apple water. I don't know what the actual, like what it called itself, because I doubt apple water was what it called itself. But it basically tasted like if you took some like apple skins and sort of like gently dunked them for a second in water. And then that was it. It was just sort of like the whispers of apple, like you could almost grab onto it and then it like sort of eludes your grasp.
Yeah,
it was very strange that this was a product that was being sold when apple juice is a thing and water is also a thing. Anyway,
would that qualify? That qualify as soup?
No, not at all.
I've lost all concepts.
No. See, I think in your heart of hearts, you know what soup is. Don't let this deceiver trick you. All right, this next one. So the prompt here is I'm looking for, and then my man must is in all caps, and then they have an old school emoticon smiley face, which I appreciate. Have over 100K annual income. They spelled annual wrong. Homeowner, body count less than 2, not be into marriage, and period. Now there's another sentence here. Other red flags include video games, height below 6'3", renter, has male friends, has female friends.
This is amazing because I have checked every box in the wrong direction here.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that, because I know what they mean by body count. I'd like to think they mean actual. I
hate that phrase.
Well, I know. I'd like to think they mean actual killings.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like an actual serial killer is on the dating app. Like, shit.
Right.
I cannot proceed. But I hate that phrase. It's just so grody.
Convenient to be a homeowner where you can hide the bodies in the basement.
Yeah. Like body count? Like it's like tag them and bag them. Like,
it's very, it's very objectifying. It's awful. Yeah. But then again, within the context of this post.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think this is obviously a shit post. But
sure.
I do think just red flags being video games is just funny. Just like not even like plays video games, talks about video games, just video games. This is a concept.
All encompassing.
Just a red flag. And you know what? Not wrong.
It might be the most reasonable part of this post.
Yeah. Body count less than 2. And you have to not be into marriage. So you want to be you're saving yourself, but not for marriage.
Although the rising cost of living, I mean, I feel like 100K annual income is pretty reasonable to ask for.
I guess it depends on where you're located.
It does. There's a lot of factors at play here. I certainly wouldn't qualify.
Right.
But
yeah.
Nor would like a majority of the country, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like a large majority. I don't even know who would fall under this to a T. I don't think there is anybody.
Well, let's see. Median household income.
Oh, no, I don't even mean that. I just mean like being able to hit all of these qualifications.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to be a loner. You have to have no friends.
Yes.
You have to be 6'4". You can't be a video game.
You could only have one or less partner in your lifetime up to this date.
You have to not want to get married.
Yes.
Own the home, have over 100K.
So I guess there are some people who are like workaholics, doing the hustle culture, have built a nice life for themselves at the cost of any sort of social life that could fall under this.
Mm-hmm. I just think that's a sad existence.
Well, then they're made for each other.
I guess so. And then we got one more from Hinge here. The prompt is, teach me something about cryptocurrency. I have literally no idea what a Bitcoin is, and it's getting to the point where it's pretty embarrassing. No, it isn't.
No, you consider yourself lucky.
No, it isn't. Live in ignorance. Go with God. You are fine.
Things you
do not.
Things you should not know about Bitcoin. Things you should know about soup.
Right. You do not need to, like, the kind of bait, like, or the kind of people that bait is going to attract. The guys that want to explain Bitcoin to people. Yeesh. That's going to be rough.
Yeah, that's asking for a fun time there.
Those are going to be some rough messages. And again, just due to ignorance, just blissful ignorance. So that's what I found on Hinge the most recent time.
And that's the good site.
That's apparently the good one. Yeah. They're all the same.
Yeah, essentially.
They're all the fucking same. Mm-hmm. But then I found out that there are subreddits that are dedicated to dating and not just like discussing, dating culture or, sort of like etiquette or whatever, but actually like matchmaking. And they're basically like personal ads from however long ago, like I guess pre-internet or even I guess Craigslist. I don't even know. And it is something.
Oh, see, when you put this on here, I assumed this was going to be an active subreddit where people would make ads today and you could respond to them.
No, that's what it is.
Well, then I'm on the money.
You assumed correctly.
Okay. No, you made it seem like it was like they're just like digging up pre-internet.
No.
Like an archive.
No.
Okay.
No. This is active. This is current, present day.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah. And so I went scrolling through one of these. And so the nice thing about this is that since it's just open, I could see what the dudes have to say.
Oh, okay. This is the solution to your
my moral quandary.
Yes.
So I can see what the dudes have to say. Now, but of course, being, I guess, Mr. Morals, I do have a bit, like, I'm going to just, like, not read them verbatim because technically you could, like, search and find them. But I don't think anybody listening is going to bother anybody. I hope not. So I won't, like, I'll skim through, I guess. I'll paraphrase is what I'm getting at. Because the dating profiles, you'd have to sign up for the site. You'd have to be in the same area. Like the chances of you running into the same person that I'm talking about are slim. Mm-hmm. But this is like, you could Google search for this.
True. However, it is also publicly available.
It is publicly, yes.
But I see where you're coming from, and I do appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah. I don't have these in any specific order. So let's just...
it's funny how you have all these moral standards and then you just blast some random person for hating soup.
I know. Well, okay, that's... You know what? I got to take a stand somewhere.
Of course, of course.
Is that The Walking Dead? A man's got to have a code or whatever?
Oh, that's absolutely... Yeah, that's absolutely been a line.
All right.
It's a dictatorship.
So there you go. So this is so like the way these work is that you put your age and your gender and what gender you're looking for.
We must find a way to go on.
Sure. So this is a 19-year-old female, and they say they're in search of a lifelong partner, which at 19 that should not be the goal. At 19, like, okay. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm Googling some Walking Dead quotes now. I'm not going to start. I'm not going to start that.
Hello, my name is blank.
We've
I'm
all
looking
done
for
the worst kinds of things just to stay alive.
Sure. You know what? I'm going to put that in my profile. That'll get some attention.
Well, that makes it seem like your
Mhm.
body count is a bit higher than 2, so you might want to be careful.
You know, it depends. Like, anyway, I'm looking for a forever type of relationship. We can meet online, but eventually I'd want to be with you in person. I'm an introverted kind of person. Love any horror genre. Saving up for a PS5. I can be quiet in the beginning. I don't know what I want yet in life. Okay, so if you don't know what you want yet in life, why are you looking for a lifelong partner at 19? Why are you doing that? On Reddit. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
I do have boundaries, and if you cross them, then I cannot continue any further. Okay, this is probably why I screenshotted this. Aside from the fact that they're that young and are desperately wanting a lifelong partner. I am an atheist, and I'm not a political person. I'd want my partner to have the same views as me. That doesn't make sense.
Wait, why not?
If they're not political, what does it matter what their partner's views are?
Well, they could mean like religious views.
Oh, well, they didn't make that clear.
Well, they said I'm an
19.
atheist.
I'm an atheist and not a political person, comma, I'd want my partner to have the same views as me.
Well, maybe the views
They're not political. They have no views.
Well, no, that's not necessarily. Maybe the views are atheist and being apolitical.
If you're not political, you're absolving yourself from any sort of stance.
Well, isn't being apolitical a stance?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say so. You're just sort of noping out of the conversation.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What if you said that, like, you have no opinions on soup whatsoever?
I mean, I think it would be a little silly, but that's better than thinking that soup is flavored water. I'm not saying that you can't be apolitical. I just think that it's weird to say that you're apolitical and then you also want your partner to be apolitical. Because if you're apolitical, you think that politics doesn't matter, but then it matters enough that you want your partner to actually also think that they don't matter.
Maybe they just don't want their partner talking about politics all the time.
That's different.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
But again, this is like a child. This is a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know how long they're going to be apolitical for.
Anyway, yeah, I think it's insane to be a 19-year-old and go to Reddit for a lifelong partner. I just think that's absolutely
it's tough
nuts.
out there. It's tough out there.
Still. Okay, let's see this next one. 26, female for male. Hello there. I'm blank. Identify as non-binary. Oh yeah, that was the other weird thing. So I think you had to. I can't remember on this one if you had to put whatever like gender you were born as or sex you were born as the.
Wait, that's a
thing.
rule
like,
on the subreddit?
I can't remember.
That seems kind of antiquated.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh.
This is like 2 months ago I found these. Looking for a soulmate, somebody I will click with and have endless conversations with. I'd love to start things slow, blah, blah, blah. Also open and communicative. Communication is super important. Start as friends and slowly move things into a LDR, which is long distance relationship. Eventually we will become IRL. I'm willing to relocate for the right person. Let's see. They give their whole physical appearance, and then they also include a picture. Some people include a picture, which is very interesting to do on Reddit.
I kind of assume that they all had pictures. I didn't know.
No. Most of these are Love is Blind. Please, when you approach me, introduce yourself a little and be willing to send me a pic of yourself, as I think attraction is important. Also, be around my age, so 27 to 36 years old. Parentheses, I do have a thing for men older than me, so if you're older than 36, you might have a chance if you send me a selfie so I can get a good look at you.
Then why even bother putting that upper limit at 36?
I don't know.
Just immediately be like, well... I mean, it's 27 to 36, but also it's fine if you're older than that.
As long as you send a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big bonus if you are like super tall, as I'm very attracted to giant men. Think Koenig from COD. I don't know.
Like Call of Duty?
I suppose. I don't know. Let's see. 27 female for male, looking for a single guy. Hey, I'm looking for someone who is nice and entertaining to talk to, someone to chat with, get to know, and maybe even start something more. I'm open to getting to know anyone who might be interested in getting to know me. Would love to hear from you. P.S. Looking for someone who is older than me, and it would be cool if you're from the States as well. There was, I think I screenshotted this one because I was just like, there is a lot of supposed women looking for like older men, like much older men on Reddit.
I think that's pretty common everywhere, though, because there seems to be a conception that the younger men are less mature. And so just like
at 27?
Yeah, even I'm talking like even
like around that age?
Even around that age.
Like our age, basically?
Yeah. That's something I've heard before. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
You want a man who's like actually had soup in their life, you know?
Hey, you know, ladies, I've had soup. I could talk about soup.
All right, that's the last dumb soup joke I'm gonna, because it's been too many. It's been too many.
Okay, 24 female, 4 male. Don't mind me. I'm just looking for my better half. Oh God, this one's so fucking long. Why did I screenshot this? Yes, you read that right. My better half. I'm not underestimating myself. I believe we'll both be each other's better half in a way that will complete one another and have opposing qualities, views, opinions that will help us both become better over time and overcome whatever difficulties while celebrating together the little victories.
So this person's looking for opposing views.
Apparently. Single and monogamous, and the reason I'm here is because dating apps seems shallow to me. Demisexual, so pretty face won't spark interest. More than the lovely personality. I've had luck meeting amazing people on Reddit that I now call friends. Going strong 6 years. Don't have a main account on Reddit. Okay, who cares about your Reddit accounts? My God. I don't use social media other than Discord and occasionally Reddit. I rarely go out to meet new people and live in a small, closed community. Interested in some genuine... This is so fucking long. That's probably why I screenshot it. I was just like, look at this shit. Look at how long this shit is.
I have to say, though, in general, these examples are not as absurd as I thought they would be.
Yeah. Let me see.
Like, could this actually be a platform where people are like taking it seriously and trying to find someone?
I think they're taking it seriously because they're writing fucking essays.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does it work? I have no fucking
clue.
Well,
how is it that you have to like DM the person that you're interested in?
I think so. You have to DM them on Reddit.
So these posts don't really have comments to them, right?
No, like, so they're like all
they're
locked
all locked
on Reddit,
okay.
So you can't comment on them.
Can you up and down vote them?
I think so.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look.
Because how else do you gain traction? Like, depending on how big this community is, I mean, you make a post and it's going to be there on the page for maybe a few hours, and then it'll just be overrun by the new posts that come in, right? I mean, like, I don't know how you really keep your profile up, like, logistically on this sub, you know what I mean?
I didn't screenshot them, but I saw some that's like, oh, hey, I'm going to repost this again.
Okay.
Trying this again.
Okay. That makes sense. It's almost like the old Rocket League exchange that I used to frequent.
Okay. Sure.
Like a trading forum where you have to keep asking for what you want.
Let's see. 26 female for male. Got no luck in love. Frowny face. 26 and lonely. First sentence generally sums up everything. I've read a lot of success stories from this sub, and that's when I found myself wishing I could write one too. Talkative introvert who'll want to ask you about random things. I'm a very straightforward person, so if I say something, it's not meant to be offensive at all. Please bear with me. I'd love to find someone with a blend of quirkiness and seriousness as well. Smiley face. If you have reached this point, can you tell me what's your favorite Cartoon Network show?
Oh, that's smart. Checking to see who's reading through the profile.
But this one's very short. This one's very short. Not a fan of long distance, so hope you'll include your state in your intro. Please don't forget your age. Don't want to be abusing minors or someone younger than me. Seriously, XOXO.
Oh, that's important.
It's important, but that's not... I don't know. How do I want to phrase it? Appealing?
No, it's no.
You know? Like, that's what you end your little thing with. Oh, by the way, not gonna abuse any minors. It's like, yeah, I would hope you as an adult woman wouldn't be trolling Reddit for minors.
Mm-hmm.
I would just kind of hope that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Don't need to really state that. Otherwise, like, everybody would just be like, hey, no minors. Like, what? Like, otherwise, this would be a pedophilia forum. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a disclaimer that should be built in.
Right. And I'm sure it is in their little Reddit rules, right?
Yes.
You know? Otherwise, there would be some serious issues going on. Okay. Male, 23 years old, looking for gamer girlfriend. I live in Canada! ! I have a full-time job. I play video games. I'm not working! I play a lot of games and I'm open to download new games as well!
Well,
just really looking for someone.
I know someone who he's very incompatible with. Definitely not hitting the 100K mark. And definitely not a good hobby there. So
just really looking for someone to talk to me every day and wants to game and call! Needs to be 420 friendly! I play on Xbox!
Here's my gamer tag.
That's all I'm saying on here. If you want to get to know me more, then hit me up! So that's a little taste of what the dudes are up to.
It sounds like he just wants someone in his party more than a actual relationship. But who am I? Who am I?
Yeah, wants a gamer girlfriend to talk to him every single day. Doesn't matter what she's doing. She's got to talk to me every day. I always find that funny. Like, really? Every day? Constantly? The whole thing?
Well, you would hope that there would be some communication on a daily basis just organically.
Right. Like, if it has to be stated, then it's like a hard and fast rule. And it's like this weird pressure to be like, okay, well, what if you got nothing going on?
It is 11:50 p.m.
The games.
It is 11:50 p.m. and we have not talked yet. This is a problem.
Right. Yeah. Then you got to do some last minute homework.
Right.
25, male for female. Any neats out there? Hi, I'm a neat, and that's currently working on not being a neat. I have my reasons for being a neat, which may or may not reveal eventually or ever. I want to believe in love, though, and have had dreams in which I'm with someone who shares a mutual love, as I could tell they really care about me as much as I care for them. Sometimes after I wake up, I could feel their warmth. Oh, this one's so fucking sad. Holy fuck. Sometimes after I wake up, I could feel their warmth for a bit, but it fades soon. I realize that the previous statement of revelations on my neatdom and my belief in love contradict, but I'd like to put that behind me and leave the past alone. I also realize that since I've never been in a relationship, I might be thinking too highly of love, but I'd like to hope for the best. Holy fuck.
To contextualize for myself here, I think I've heard of the term neat before, but can you refresh me on that?
Yes, it is a Japanese phrase, or I guess acronym, that stands for not in education, employment, or training. And it basically means somebody that stays at home and doesn't have a job, is not currently in school, and is not actually seeking out those opportunities.
So basically, the economy sucks.
Yeah, it was started. There's a whole there's a generation in Japan called the Lost Generation. Mm-hmm. They had a recession, I think, a few years before ours, with like the housing crisis.
Oh, so like mid 2000s.
Yeah, and so there was like a whole generation of like mostly men that sort of had no economic prospects and sort of became shut-ins, and so they're called neets. Or also hikikomori, which is also just like somebody that doesn't leave their house ever, like for any reason. And so this is somebody in America that is adopting that moniker for themselves.
So yeah, this is quite sad.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think, is it Tiger Jaw has a song called Hikikomori, right?
Oh no,
I think they do.
Do they?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do.
Well, at least they're posting. Anyway. At least they're putting themselves out there.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, they just kind of keep going on.
Oh.
They like gaming, which is not a surprise. Anime and manga, not a surprise. My everyday conversation skills are not very good. If you want a purely professional and formal conversation where we exchange pleasantries, then I'm very good at that. Okay. Yeah. All right. This next one. 61 male for female. Looking for a real connection, someone not afraid of turning it romantic. Same career for over 40 years, house and car. Okay, the bank still owns the house, but I'm paying it off. I'll drink to that, brother. I play guitar and paint. I read. Separated from the second one and not getting back together. Second what? Oh, wife, I guess.
Yeah, I would assume.
Needs some context, dude. He's just talking. She lives far enough away that she's not even in the equation.
Oh, is it just proximity that?
I don't know. Dad bod with tats, beard, and shaved head. I work out a couple times a week trying to stay fit and active. I've got a dog, so you should probably be okay with that. You should probably be in the Midwest as well if it works out. I'd like to meet someday. Please be a reader. I don't care what genre. I have more in common with a reader than anyone else. Tattoos would be nice.
You want to date do you want to date a Kindle? I don't understand.
But not a requirement as long as you're okay with them. We would start here and eventually move on to the phone, texting and talking. You know, stuff you do on the phone. Watching movies together, talk about the books we're reading, or just how our day went. If this appeals to you, you know what to do. Picture for picture. Ooh. And please, no risque pictures unless we continue on to something more than pen pals.
Well, that's good. That's modest.
Yeah. Hey, he knows what he wants. He's been around the block. He's got 2 ex-wives.
I really like this one. This is my favorite. Just a very well realized person. You know, you kind of know. Mm-hmm. I have a full picture of what I would be getting into here. I say I
just lays it all out.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Hey, this is it.
That's right. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. At 61, I'm not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
And the expectations are not unreasonable.
No.
You know?
Yeah. I guess for this whole setup. Yeah.
Hey, you like books?
Yeah, you should like books. You should be okay with tattoos. You should know I have a dog and that I have 2 ex-wives.
Neither of which are anywhere to be found near me.
He only mentions the second.
It's true.
He only mentions the second one.
I'm making an assumption there.
Oh, maybe the first one's dead.
Oh, I was going to
separated from the second one.
I was going to say the first ex-wife is just the next door neighbor, but
oh sure, yeah. That'd be a fun sitcom, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Didn't it star Jim Carrey? Yeah. Okay. That's less fun, but
sure. All right. 31, male for female. Living alone really starts to wear on you. I can only talk to my cat for so long until even he doesn't want to listen. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Is that supposed to appeal to anybody? Holy fuck.
I can appreciate the honesty though.
Okay, but like, as somebody that is a major bummer, like who is going to be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm into that.
Well, they're not exactly putting their best foot forward here on the Reddit dating.
That's their fucking title of their post. I only clicked on that because I'm like, I gotta see what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah. Well, misery loves company, you know?
Yeah, but still. I think he's really leaning on the cat thing because he's got in the middle of this, oh, if you want to see pictures of my cat, here's a link. Oh, yeah.
This cat who resents me and can't stand being around me.
Yeah, this fucking cat that won't even talk to me. I can't talk to my cat. Oh, man. I don't think there's anything else interesting in here. It's just a whole lot about his work, and he plays video games because, of course, he does. He's on Reddit.
What is his work?
IT.
Okay.
And then we got one more. 18 female for male, looking for my first and forever lover. No, you shouldn't be. Do not do that on Reddit. Stop this.
This is now a theme, unfortunately.
Stop this. Recently turned 18, so yippee. Gross. Stop this. Mm-hmm. Unless this is an FBI honeypot. Stop this. Even then, they should stop this. This is horrific. I'm genuinely looking for something serious and permanent. No, you're not. No, you should not be. The type of guy I'm looking for is someone older and more mature who will take the lead in the relationship during our days. I enjoy spending time outside the home and enjoying my small social life, blah, blah, blah. I also like to play video games, watching anime, blah, blah, blah. It's just icky.
It's icky, and it's on a platform that you know it's gonna attract. Unfortunately, the people that it's just the wrong people. It's gonna feed right into the problems that exist on these types of platforms.
Yes. Yeah. If I had ordered these, I probably wouldn't have ended on that one. Luckily, they don't stop coming. So I found these Reddits, and then I found this bizarro concept that takes the personal ads even further than just Reddit posts. So if you didn't have enough space in your Reddit post to really show who you are to potential partners, dates, whatever, why not just write a fucking resume and post it online? You've got a resume for your job. Why don't you have a resume for your dating life?
Mm-hmm.
So this is what people do. They're called Date Me Docs, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I saved this one in the notes, but I have some other ones. Oops, why did it copy? Okay. A lot of the times there are multiple pages. Oh, I can't even zoom.
Which
Okay.
isn't the rule of thumb with resumes to keep it to one page, keep it clean.
Well, you know how every couple of years they change what they decide the arbitrary resume rules.
Do they?
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Well, yeah, that much is true.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that was the thing for like the longest time, was that it should be just one page. Yeah. But like, I guess so you can have your own little designs or whatever, but it's a fucking resume. It's nuts. And so like you put in your email, because I guess that's how you want people to contact you for dating.
For opportunities.
Email, for opportunity. Yeah, there you go. For opportunities. So yeah, a lot of people put pictures. Well, there's usually a picture, but then some people put multiple pictures. So this one here, I'm a multifaceted individual who thrives on the richness of life's experiences. Languages are my passion. I can converse in several, which opens up a world of exciting conversations. Okay, sure. When I'm not immersed in linguistic adventures, I'm tickling the ivories of my piano.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
There's
Acting is
plenty of ways to
what?
Just so many ways you could phrase that.
Gently caressing the piano. Acting is another passion of mine. I've done theater since I was a child, and sometimes I do short films. Traveling is my ultimate passion. A lot of passions. Bustling city, serene countryside, blah, blah, blah. Karaoke nights. Teacher and interpreter. And I'm also a mom to a sweet little girl. Really snuck that one in there. Mm-hmm. Really gotta go through all the passions to get to the fact you got a kid. But hey, all right, fine. I'm friendly, so I'll always do my best to get along with you and your family and friends. A good listener, can have good conversations, can cook, clean, and take care of children. That's good. That's good. I would hope so, since you have one. I am traditional, conservative, submissive, and family-oriented.
Oh, that's quite a grouping of...
Again, kind of just snuck that one in there.
Some jump scares in this resume.
Kind of just snuck that one in there. Then we'll get an explainer. Okay, so if you were curious, that means that if you are my husband, I will go to you for guidance. The husband is the leader and the head of the household, so I will respect your authority. I will also ensure that my family, husband and children, are well taken care of. Yeesh. Just gives you the chills, doesn't it?
A little bit. It's like,
it's like Stepford Wives shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of torn because I don't, I obviously don't really agree with that whole concept of like, relationship dynamic and everything. But if that's what you're into, I don't know. I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one.
Okay, sure. Here we so favorite bands. This is on the second page here. Favorite bands. I always, is it HIM or him? Remember that one?
I'm pretty sure it's him. Which, boy, is that not a name I've heard in a very long time.
Lacrimosa, Lacrimus Profundere. Is that the same band or is that two different bands?
I want to
they have the same name.
That sounds familiar.
There's a comma.
I'm trying to remember my high school years at this point because that's that's when these artists were relevant. Are there more?
Yeah. We got Red. We got Skillet.
Oh wow! Wow.
Aesthetic Perfection. Rammstein, because of course. Dimmu Borgir. I don't know how you're supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Marduk, Malice Miser, Slipknot, Korn, Atrocity, Lordy, BTS, Avenged Sevenfold, because of course.
Wait, did you say BTS?
Yep. Again, snuck that in there.
What an outlier!
Snuck it right in there. Black Audio with a K.
Okay.
Or no, with a Q and a K. And Vigilante. Yeah, so you can just put your whole deal out there on the internet. And so there is a repository of these, the Date Me directory, where you can just fucking put them out there.
Was this one appealing to you at all?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Didn't you hear me like recoil?
You had a physical reaction to this one.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Just turned 32, 5'10", looking for a monogamous life partner.
Wait, is this male or female?
This is female.
Okay.
Just got out of a long-term relationship earlier this year, feeling clearer than ever about what I'm looking for.
That's good.
This is 3 pages long. I'm not reading all this. My top values are service, growth, and spirituality. I wouldn't call myself a traditionally religious person. My relationship with a God of my understanding is probably one of the most important things to me.
It's very funny because I have the Discord page up and I'm just kind of looking at Raptor Jesus while this
exactly
while this
yeah. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I run my own digital marketing agency. When it comes to my personal life, a lot of it is on the internet via blogs or content. Yeah, word up. I've landed big press and big opportunities from my gift of storytelling. Okay, this sounds more like a real resume.
It does. Service oriented.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Good publishing background.
I'm in the process of writing a memoir and plan to go to the traditional book publishing route. If that freaks you out, we probably wouldn't be a fit. Why would the traditional publishing? Well, you know what? To be honest, the traditional publishing route does freak me out a little bit, if I'm being honest, with the way they operate.
Came around on that, so.
I think she means to refer to the fact that a lot of her life is public, is what she's saying.
Right. But you, with the way that your brain works, took that to...
Well, no, because that's what she says immediately. Like, that's her next sentence.
Yeah.
I plan to go the traditional publishing route. If that freaks you out, we probably wouldn't be a fit. She needs an editor is what she needs. You don't need a partner. You need an editor. I've done a lot of work on my sexuality and sexual expression. She censors sexuality and sexual expression for some reason. I'm not sure why.
How so?
She puts an asterisk for the E.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. It's a Google Doc.
Yeah.
TikTok has broken so many brains. Intimacy is really important to me. I don't drink. I don't party. Can err on the more serious side. Lastly, if you couldn't tell, I'm extremely self-aware. A pretty precise sight when it comes to seeing patterns.
Oh, I thought they meant like their actual vision.
No, me too.
Like I have 20/20 vision. Got checked out recently.
And have done tons of work on my nervous system to be a regulated, emotionally mature person. What? What does that mean? I
think maybe a self-help book or two has been read.
I think that they might have powers of some kind. They're seeing pattern. This is what's her face from the Queen's Gambit.
Oh,
she's seeing patterns on the wall,
on the ceiling.
She's seeing all the chess moves.
Bed.
Yeah. Tons of work on my nervous system.
No, you can regulate. You can regulate your nervous. It's like there's techniques for that.
Yeah, I didn't know you could work on that like leg day.
Well, sure, of course.
I thought you could only do that in like Mass Effect 2.
No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
I still see a therapist and have many coaches / mentors. How many coaches do you need?
Well, she probably has a nervous system coach.
Okay. Because even like a professional tennis player, they got the one coach, right?
Yeah.
They got the one person. So why do you need multiple coaches?
Well, because
I don't know. I guess if you're doing all
doing all this heavy
lifting,
is not tennis,
I suppose. I don't know. This is all just like putting all this out there. And I must say, looks like a different person in all 3 photos that are included. But I guess that's how it goes. Best of luck with your manifesting generator 5-1, whatever that means.
Okay, they've lost me.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I have one more.
I'm waiting for at the bottom of that one for there to be a link for 50% off my program.
Sure. Yeah.
Like a little bit.
But
hey, whatever works for people.
Yeah. This is going to be the last one because this segment's been forever. This one is 7 pages.
Wow.
But it's sort of got an avant-garde kind of design to it because it sort of starts off with, I don't know if it's poetry. Well, okay, I'll just get started. Looking for a particular man, for high times, home building, hijinks.
A little alliteration there. It's clever.
Yeah. Yeah. Particular man is in a different color than the rest of the text. And then there are some hyperlinks to the rest of the sections of this 7-page document.
Oh, wow.
Boring Fast Facts has their age. Born in 1995, grew up there, lives in here now. Worked in startups. Okay. Yeah. Working on data-heavy agriculture and public health projects in India. Then shilled fintech to truck drivers. And am now coming off of building an HVAC technician apprenticeship in Texas.
I've heard that you can make good money in the HVAC business.
But I don't think...
It gets so hot. It gets hot in Texas.
Yeah, sometimes it gets too cold. Remember when that happened?
Is that when Ted Cruz went on vacation?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. I like learning about and making stuff for people who aren't much like me and my urban hyper-educated friends. That seems very condescending.
Yeah, a little bit. A lot, actually.
Like extremely condescending.
Yeah, now that I keep... Mm-hmm. Like we want to educate you and you're not on our level, so we have to bestow our wisdom upon you. Yeah. Our HVAC wisdom. Which, hey, practical career, but
she wasn't doing HVAC. She was building an HVAC technician apprenticeship, whatever that means.
Well, I guess that means you're taking the first steps. You're an apprentice.
No, she was building like the program, I think.
Oh, this is beyond me. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't understand any of this. What does shilling fintech to truck drivers mean?
That's a bunch of nonsense words.
Right. What the fuck's a Bitcoin?
Right. Wait, what is what is fintech?
Financial tech. Yes.
Is that giving truck drivers financial advice?
I have no idea.
That's like the most specific thing.
I don't know. But then again, this reads like a regular ass resume.
It does, with a lot of buzzwords to go along with it.
Uh-huh. This doc is meant to help me unearth a gremlin, and then gremlin is crossed out. Prospect, I guess, because this is supposed to be a joke, in either the following 2 categories. A, and then it says 1. Okay.
You don't understand. They're
keep your formatting.
No. They're on a different level. They are hyper educated. We cannot keep up with this format.
They shilled fintech to truck drivers. I can't even comprehend the formatting of their document. A long-term partner who's open to something other than a purely monogamous relationship. Oh, they're poly. Okay, no wonder why I don't understand any of this shit. Oh, fuck. They're operating on like 8 different other chakras than me.
Yeah, but I don't know what being poly has to do with HVAC.
They are on another ethereal plane, okay? They're shaking hands with the Buddha. They're selling insurance to truck drivers and HVAC technicians. Okay.
Do you think their nervous system is regulated properly?
I don't know. B2. Alternatively, someone with whom I can have a strong and trusting co-parenting relationship. Snuck it in there. Hell yeah. In which we figure out how to start a lovely family. What is that? Family little pod without being romantically involved ourselves? What?
So it's a platonic partnership of raising children?
Just get married and then divorced, I guess. Like what? Okay, a bunch of photos. What I'm like to hang with. Okay. 1. The liminal space between levity and gravitas is where I like hanging out. Jesus Christ. My favorite convos are equal parts mutual vulnerability and hardcore ribbing. Worth noting, I'm pretty silly for an adult at least.
I have to say, hardcore ribbing sounds very dirty.
It does. But hey, this is platonic. This is a co-parenting
situation. That's right.
There's none of that kind of thing going on.
It's getting hot in here. We need an HVAC tech.
No, we need to train for it. We need the program. We gotta train. I like hanging out with people of all stripes. Oh, here we go.
What does that mean?
I've lived in liberal city. We're going to find out. I've lived in liberal cities and deep red conservative suburbs. I've worked in Indian metros and villages, in Silicon Valley at an inner city hospital. I've worked alongside development economists, tech bros, and blue collar tradesmen. Jesus Christ. I can always find an axis along which to vibe with the homies.
So basically, I see all sides.
This is incredibly white. This is the whitest thing I've ever read.
It very much is.
Epistemically, I'm into empirically verifiable claims. What the fuck? And stay mindful to avoid tribal dogmas or ego involvement in my beliefs. I like reading books and articles or watching movies and then discussing them.
Oh, hey, our 61-year-old friend could maybe...
I am a human. I like to discuss movies with friends.
In my mind, I'm trying to make matchmaker with the various profiles that you've shared here. I'm just seeing who would be compatible.
I love working to develop my theory of mind with others and spend more than average time working through these developments with those to whom I'm close, comparing notes, debating explanations for behaviors, etc. If this sounds draining or dull to you, we almost definitely are not well matched romantically, but could still be co-parents?
Oh, so it's not a deal breaker.
What the fuck? I don't understand what that means. You're not a psychologist. Comparing notes and debating explanations for behaviors with your friends?
Sounds like a fun Friday evening, in my opinion.
I do that classically feminine thing whereby I frequently share mundane details of my life relationships and ask about yours. You mean like a person? If this is bothersome, let's find a workaround? Fucking what?
So in other words, how was your day?
Yeah, like fucking what?
It's incredibly pretentious. I
can't stop reading because it keeps getting weirder.
Yeah.
I'm pretty serious about reducing my participation in status games to approximately 0. Over the next few years, I've reduced my participation quite a lot. More ways to go.
What does that mean?
My mate and or co-parent has got to be on board here.
What is a status game?
I don't know.
Huh.
Generally, I think that doing hard things, first letter is capitalized, and being uncomfortable, and that's capitalized, are good. I can relax too, but staying on easy mode, the default mode for most of us affluent modernites, waste of a short life. This is making me uncomfortable. You've made me uncomfortable. I curse a lot. Maybe this is because ethnically, I'm half Bronxite, half North Jerseyan.
Uh-oh.
That's not an ethnicity. That's not an ethnicity.
Well, some people around these parts would beg to differ.
That's not an ethnicity. Being from the Bronx is not an ethnicity. Oh my God. What I'm like specifically as a GF. This is so you're looking for a boyfriend and also a co-parent and also a debate bro. This is like broken my brain. If my boyfriend, your peace of mind and well-being are extremely important to me, as I'd hope mine are to you, we'll work to understand what these mean to you and protect them.
It's kind of like if an alien from a different planet came down to observe what humans are and then had to make a dating profile to reflect that.
Yeah. I'd expect to hold exceedingly few hills to die on. What tectonic uplift gives rise to a hill, I'll articulate it with care and try to work with you. I'm mostly vegetarian. You don't have to be. What is the difference between the girlfriend section and just the hanging out section? I think it's very important for me, for you, for family and country that you are very attracted to me. What does that have to do with you as a girlfriend? Okay. What I'd hope for in a boyfriend. Well, apparently I have to be very attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
As mentioned, open to non-monogamy. But again, it seemed like that was sort of the deal breaker at the beginning, not really open to it. In all likelihood, extremely competent at public speaking. Fucking why? Am I giving speeches on your behalf? Are we starting a business?
Mm-hmm.
Low ego, low arrogance.
Oh.
Fucking why me and not you? Very rarely openly angry. Very high open-mindedness and low judgment of others. Rarely disgusted, ideally. Strong points of view. Please give me your takes, but be open to my pushing back. Very comfortable setting his own boundaries and stating them to me explicitly and nicely. Hilarious, at least to me. Leans into physical and verbalized affection. Almost primordially comfortable in his own skin and body. Probably likes reading, but no judgment if too busy with work. And I don't know, overt and bountiful joie de vivre. Commit to a bit with me. What's the bit? Is this all a bit?
I think so. I'm starting to think so. I think we've fallen into a trap here.
Hold on. So this is we just reached the co-parenting thing. I have to fucking know. I have to. This could be with an intended husband or with a ... non-husband someone with whom I match on lifestyle preferences, and but no, you said that the co-parent could be somebody that like hated you, basically, and with whom I affectionately cohabitate, at least while the kids are little. However, my preference is for the former at the moment. IMO, kids rock. They are fucking hilarious. They are precious and delightful. When I'm hanging with them, I feel overwhelming affection, a simultaneous desire to play, plus imperative to protect at all costs. Jesus Christ. I even feel this affection when kids are being very annoying, which sometimes they are. I still love them even then. Biological kids, question mark? Oh my God. I have a slight preference for adoption just because I'm quite confident I could be mom to any kid, and lots of kids are in need of mom. Maybe that's naive, but lots of cool and great things happen because we naively lean into some commitment, right? That said, you're probably looking to extend your bloodline, right? Jesus, God, help, help, help. Maybe you're a techno-utopian proto-natalist? Yeah, I know your type. So if you know, that's also what you're looking for, you weird white woman. So perhaps you're on the prowl for one of these sets, and then she has I don't know if it's an emoji or just a fucking clip art picture of a uterus, one of which is conveniently in my possession. Grade A, by the way.
Oh, God.
So, okay, sure. Biological kids are cool, too. I'm game.
How deep are we here? How?
This is the end.
Okay.
This is it.
All right.
Basically, it talks about child rearing and household building thoughts.
Oh, God.
But like, I shoot your shot by filling out the following form. I'm actually trying to reduce your cognitive burden by asking a few pointed questions. Lady, you have broken my brain. Rather than expecting you to extract something thoughtful out of an overwhelming possibility of space of feasible overtures. Yeah, you're welcome. Look, I'm already taking care of you. What the fuck are you talking about? Do I dare click on this form?
So don't think for yourself, or at least think as little as possible, and just answer these direct questions instead.
Okay, so she's got a Google form to date her or to co-parent with her with either adopted kids or biological kids because she has an apparent grade A uterus. Oh, okay, she wants email. What should I call you? Prob your name, but who am I to set such constraints? It's your fucking form. Where are you based? How old are you? What specifically in my doc made you want to reach out? Pics, please. Do you feel you're masculine? How so? Not a trap, and she shouldn't have used that word. Write as much or as little as you please. Preferences around monogamy. Anything else you want to mention? Anything make you delight and or menace and or future regret and or God among men? What the fuck? Are you funny? Would others call you a funny dude? Any online presence / links? Should I just give you my resume? How should I get in touch with you? This doesn't actually matter for my impression, just curious. Of your siblings, were you born first, second, third, or an only child? In the event that I feel like we're not well matched, what should I do? Not respond, send you a note about it, or other? Jesus. Okay. Well, that was something.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of words. She certainly has a lot of words. I don't have a lot of words.
No, that like actually broke me.
Yeah, I can tell.
Like whenever I found that, I was like, oh, haha, funny. These people are like really making like actual resumes about, dating them.
And some of them like actually did sort of, seem.
And you have to email them. Like, isn't this kind of silly in the world of swipey apps?
Yeah, it's like a little bit of it's a rebellious way to go about it. It's,
Yeah. But then you get to that. What the fuck? Oh my God.
Is it a bit? Is it a cry for help? Is it just someone who thinks way, way too highly of themselves? I don't know.
I don't know. I was not expecting to go that long with that. Yeah. Well, that might be The Last Dating is Dead for a while. Again. Because every time I think I dig as far as I can go, there's a new bottom.
Yeah, this was a new bottom, that's for sure.
Uh-huh. Like, where do you go to get clip art uterus? Like,
I mean, I would assume Google Images, but I don't know. Maybe I'm naive.
Like, don't you think at the point that you're typing in uterus into Google Image, you would just be like, Hey, you know what? Maybe this is not what I should put here.
There is no stopping this person.
Yeah.
They are past the point of no return.
Yeah. I should add, there was no other clip art or emojis in
just the uterus.
Just the uterus. Just the uterus. Okay. So this is Shelved, our book segment where we talk about the publishing industry and any other miscellaneous book-related topics.
The traditional publishing industry.
The traditional publishing industry, which sometimes I'm afraid of, as it turns out. I've discovered that about myself today.
A lot of fears sort of arose from that last segment.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's sort of what we discover on the show is there's always something scary around the corner, and there's new ways of self-discovery, I guess. I did just want to mention this because I saw that Apple is adapting William Gibson's Neuromancer as I think it's going to be just a limited series, and I do not think that it is possible to do this well. I just really don't. I truly think there are so many parts of that book that are just completely unfilmable. And
isn't this what they said about Game of Thrones, though? Look how that turned out for at least a while.
No, the difference is that Game of Thrones was actually at least tangible.
Oh, okay.
Like the books, where so much of Neuromancer is taking place in a literal like spaces that do not exist and can't really be understood visually.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much of it is taking place in a version of cyberspace that he was making up pre-internet, you know, as both a physical space and also one that interacts with the real world. And so the climax of the book is a heist that takes place simultaneously physically and in cyberspace.
Okay.
And I just don't see how that's going to be possible to film.
I mean,
even put on film.
We've seen a lot of abstract filmmakers pull stuff off that we thought couldn't be done.
I don't know. I really don't see it.
All right. Is this going to be... It is a series, right? Not a movie? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just going to, unfortunately, be boiled down to just Ready Player One VR shit.
Well, it's interesting because, unfortunately, that visual, as much as I dislike that movie, came to mind as you're describing this.
Right.
So it does seem like the sort of aesthetic that you would place on this if you did adapt it.
Right, and that's not what it is.
Okay.
So...
Boy, I don't know what Spielberg was thinking there.
Yeah.
That was rough. But anyway.
Yeah. So I just don't see how you go about this. It works as prose because there is so much in the gaps where you could just explain away something that truly does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to make something that does not exist. So I don't know.
Do we know who's doing this? Who's show running?
Jesus, why can't I type? Let's see. Oh, Graham Rowland says he worked on Lost.
The name doesn't ring a bell as someone who's...
But then it also says Jack Ryan. So...
Yeah. It looks like he's done maybe an episode of Lost.
Oh, okay.
The New Man in Charge, which sounds like, let's see. Oh, that's the epilogue of the series. The New Man in Charge was the epilogue that took place after the series finale. And it was co-written by Graham Rowland and some other people. And I swear it was 10 minutes long.
Of Lost?
Yeah, it's just this little epilogue that ties up a couple loose ends, with where some of these characters ended up.
Does it play after the finale, or
I think it might have been put online. It's 12 minutes long. It was either online or it was attached to the DVD release of the
Okay, I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have seen, of course I've seen it.
Sure.
It was released on the final season DVD and the box set. So it did not air on TV. It came out, months after the fact. And so this Graham Rowland co-wrote this 12-minute epilogue. That's his tie to Lost.
Okay.
Fascinating. And yeah, it looks like he worked pretty heavily on the Jack Ryan Amazon series, which does not sound promising.
No.
A movie called Dark Winds and a movie called Mile 22. So.
Yeah. No. I just don't see how it works.
You should watch the Lost epilogue though. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
I haven't seen Lost in so damn long.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Just be like, oh yeah, Hurley, I remember him. You know, like it's been so fucking long.
Right.
Jack and Kate.
That's right.
Don't tell me what I can't do. But like that's the extent
We have to go
of
back.
what I. Mm-hmm.
Where's Penny's boat?
Yeah. Wonderwall, the whole thing. I got all that stuff. But the polar bears.
Oh yeah.
You know. So last weekend.
Well, so I said, "Where's Penny's boat?" It's not obviously not Penny's boat.
Not Penny's boat. Yeah. Well, that's okay because whenever I was thinking of that before you said it, I thought it was I guess because we keep bringing up Walking Dead for some reason. I was like, oh, it's don't dead open inside.
Don't dead open inside. That's right.
But I was like, nope, that's not right. And then you said the Penny's boat. So last weekend, I uncovered a mystery that had been bugging me for years at this point. So, I sell books on Amazon because if you sell books, you got to sell books on Amazon. And, we had discovered that one of our books was getting bootlegged and being sold on Amazon.
Okay.
And I didn't understand how they were doing it. It didn't make any sense. And the reason I knew it was bootlegged was because I ordered a copy.
Ooh.
And compared it to a genuine copy. And the colors were all fucked up. The printing quality was not nearly as good, but it was still the book, as if they had access to my like printing markups and were able to print it themselves. And it wasn't a used copy. It was a supposedly new copy of the book, but the colors were like all just washed out and it didn't make any sense. But it had a weird barcode on it that none of my genuine copies did. And I just couldn't figure out what the fuck had gone on here. Like, how did somebody get like my source files and how did they print a copy of the book? And why is it for sale on Amazon as a new copy? Like, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't figure it out. Then I saw a bunch of writers talking online about how nobody should buy their books on Amazon for lots of reasons. But the main reason is that Amazon will just print off their own copies of the books that they sell and have access to. Oh. So the way it works with Amazon, and this is for big publishers, this is for small publishers, and for dipshits that try to do this on their own like me. You have a publisher and a printer and a retailer. So I'm the publisher, I make the book, I make the file. I send it to my distributor, who is also my printer. The distributor sends it to the retailers after it's printed and sends it digitally for digital copies to be distributed online. So they also have deals in place with Amazon for what's called print on demand. So what this means is that Amazon doesn't need to hold 50 copies of the book in their warehouse. They will hold some, but if it gets low enough, they will just order a copy to be printed on demand from my printer. Then whoever buys it will get a freshly printed copy. That's the way it's supposed to work. So basically, the book will never go out of, like, it should never say out of stock. Right. That's the goal. It should never say out of stock because it's going to be print on demand. So I have a deal with my printer for them to distribute and print the book. That's the deal I have. They have a deal with Amazon. Amazon is the one that decides how many copies of the book they will stock. They will decide how many copies is too few copies to be out of stock and need to trigger the print on demand. It could be 0, it could be 5, it could be 15. They could just arbitrarily decide when a book needs to be printed on demand. They could decide they don't want to hold any of the books in their warehouse and they will always be print on demand. Fine, whatever. I don't give a shit as long as somebody that orders the book can get a book. Now, the issue is that Amazon has decided it's easier for them to print the books themselves. Now, I didn't okay that. Self-published authors didn't okay that. Large publishers didn't okay that. But Amazon just does it anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Because fuck you.
Yeah, who cares?
We're the largest retailer.
Exactly. Yeah, can do what they want.
Yeah. So they're using their KDP shit to print off low quality files. or low quality versions of the book because they were given the files by the distributor. So they literally had like, this is what was driving me nuts. I was like, how could whoever did this, right? I'm thinking this is like a criminal enterprise. How could they have access to my printing files? It didn't make any sense. Now it makes sense. It's fucking Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
It's Amazon themselves competing directly against me and selling shitty versions of my book.
Amazing.
Also, they don't have to keep 15 hardcover children's books in one of their millions of warehouses.
And you see no compensation for this?
No, I still do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I still do. It's because it's still my book. I still get, they're like not actually outright stealing it from me.
Yeah.
But anybody that buys the book is getting a shittier version of the book.
Right.
Objectively.
Yeah, you have them side by side.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all these other authors are saying, yeah, no, like look, they're doing comparisons too. Look at how shitty this is. They're using lower quality paper. They're not even going based off of the right color spacing because that's what fucked up my copies.
Now, you said this is happening at all levels. I'm assuming this doesn't affect like Penguin Random House.
No, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw an author that was books. I think it was HarperCollins. Yeah.
So if you
nobody wants to piss off Amazon.
Yeah, so basically on the consumer end, there's already many reasons not to purchase your books from Amazon. Easier said than done sometimes, but this is definitely a new one.
Absolutely, because you're like, whatever, the price might be better.
Yeah,
it's convenient. I'll get it maybe even the next day.
I mean, I'm guilty of having to purchase something off of Amazon and just like adding a book or two to the order because it's so easy.
Yeah.
But now you're actually getting a inferior copy in a lot of cases.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
They're using shitty KDP printing. I didn't even know they printed hardcover, which is why I never suspected them of doing it. Yeah. It looks like a completely different book. It looks like it was just slapped together.
It's a bootleg.
It is. It's completely bootleg.
Fascinating.
And like that's the giveaway is that if it has the barcode in this weird spot at the end of the book, not where it should be, because my books have a barcode on the back cover where it's supposed to be,
right?
Where I have it marked in the printing files, but Amazon doesn't do that. And so that's the giveaway. If you have a weird ass barcode, if you can't tell that it's already fucked up, but yeah, they place their own KDP barcode in it. So yeah, it's just more ways you're getting screwed some way. It's like, yes, I will still receive royalties for the sale. I got a lovely $10 check for last month.
Yeah, but the thing is you might get royalties, but in theory, your reputation and credibility is getting hurt because people are getting a copy of this book that is not up to the standard that you put out. And no one's going to know about this.
Yeah, I have waived the shipping cost for people because I have to unfortunately charge for shipping.
Yeah.
Just the way it is. I have waived the shipping cost for people, and they've still preferred to buy it off of Amazon.
Yeah, and no one's going to know about this process behind the scenes.
Right.
Because even you, as the person who purchased the book, didn't know about it until just recently. So like they're going to assume that this inferior copy that they received is what you intended to put out there, and that's just awful. Right. That's just so lousy. It's so bad on so many levels. We cease to be just like you said earlier with the other segment, like there's no end to just how awful this stuff gets. Mm-hmm. It really isn't. Just when you think you've hit, the worst of it.
Yeah.
Ay.
Yep. And like, yeah, what am I gonna do?
Right.
If the big four aren't gonna do shit,
right?
Because they don't want to piss off Amazon, what the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, you have no options other than just pull it from Amazon, and that's not realistic.
No, it's not. You still technically need that discoverability, even though it's dog shit.
Yeah.
It's got the fucking Goodreads integration. Like, it sucks. It sucks so hard. But yeah, so if anybody is self-publishing their books on Amazon, just be aware of that.
No, this is a good PSA. It really is.
Just use them as a search engine. Do not direct customers towards them if you don't want to have the roulette of them getting a shitty version of your book, like physically.
Wow.
Not even getting into how the Kindle books themselves, that whole shit situation. But yeah, on the one hand, it is nice to know who finally fucking did it, but
it's not a fun answer.
No.
There's other ways that could have gone that would have been interesting. But
I would honestly rather it be some kind of like secret cabal that was like
just ripping off,
stealing books.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because it's like, oh, well, I'm kind of honored that you think it's worthy enough to be, ripped off for profit.
The secret cabal is just Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
The not so secret culprit.
Anyway, we read a book for this episode.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
So I take it to mean that you did not enjoy This Thing Between Us.
I struggled with it.
Really?
Yeah. You liked it?
I thought that was okay.
All right. That was our book club for this time.
So we read This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. This is a story, I guess more closer to novella, I would say.
No, it didn't feel like it.
I thought it was a quick read. Okay, well, anyway, it's a horror novel about a man who loses his wife in an accident and seems to be haunted by not only her death, but something seems to be following him after he decides to leave after her death. And there's a lot of references to their shared Mexican-American culture and family and things like that going on. And a little bit, I was kind of disappointed that there's not a lot to do with the sort of modern technology aspect of it.
No, it really is like introduced and then abandoned.
Yeah, you kind of get teased with it and then it sort of just like falls away.
It's like a jumping off point.
Yeah. But yeah, it's more of I guess a possession story more than anything else, or I guess a demon story rather than sort of like a like techno horror or anything like that. So I do feel a little baited on that. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. So you struggled?
I did. Just, very bleak in subject matter. It seemed like it didn't have, I don't know. I didn't know what it was trying to do for the most part. Because like you start out with the technology thing and then you turn into this possession angle, but it's also just exploring grief. So is the whole thing like a metaphor for grief? I don't really know. Then it kind of spirals a bit at the end and sort of has mixed messaging, and I don't know. I was very disconnected from it while reading it.
Okay. It does get a little messy towards the end.
Yes.
Like it kind of turns into like a little Resident Evil where like he's just sort of like getting hacked to bits. Like he's kind of like losing fingers and like appendages and stuff, and he's still just kind of like trucking, you know what I mean?
You do.
Just to sort of get to a point where it's just like, and then we're done. So I do get your point there. But I thought it was just kind of obvious. It was just more about him, like just a lot, like not even accepting his wife's death or like going through the stages of grief. It was just like him getting to the point where he was going to allow himself to grieve. And then that was sort of the resolution. It's like fucking finally, and then we end, right?
Yeah, just a lot of gore directed at that dog, and I'm not sure to what end.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I liked it, but I was just sort of surprised at the turn, because I was like, oh, is this just gonna be like he's haunted in the cabin? His only companion's the dog. I don't really give a fuck.
And that just, like literally blows up in his face.
Yes.
Yeah, which I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
In terms of the unexpected element of it, I just didn't really connect with where it went from there, I guess.
Yeah. I did struggle with sort of recognizing or like sort of realizing like what this wall thing was. Like the thing that's actually sort of like pursuing him. Like it's a wall that can sort of just like move and or teleport. Like I just like physically, like I struggled with like both its scale and like how it was supposed to be imposing. I much rather preferred the weird, creepy, what does he even end up calling him? The cook, I guess.
Yeah. Like
those weird, like dream death sequences, the weird conversations with him, the like preparing for the banquet. That was a lot more effective than the wall thing.
Oh, very much agree. Yeah.
And so I don't know if like this wall thing was like trying to evoke some sort of specific like Mexican folklore that I'm just not aware of, or something else. But it was just hard to sort of like bridge the two for me.
Yeah,
like they seem so unrelated for the longest time.
I think I like my horror a bit more grounded. So when it starts to get into the dream state, and then of course you have this like this wall, this presence, this thing, it just I struggle with that. I'm like almost looking to get past those parts into whatever comes next.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Because in like a regular ass possession story, because like he evokes this a couple of times, like The Exorcist, right? Or, you know, its many offshoots and inspiration, like things that it inspired. It's usually a person that gets possessed. And here it's a wall, I guess.
Like objects in the cabin, like books.
Or books, yeah. The AI assistant, very briefly.
Or I guess
the dog.
Characters in the periphery, like the dog or the cook, like people that he encounters.
Yeah. But it is mostly objects.
Mostly objects, yeah.
And so I guess that is a way to differentiate the possession, but it is also hard to, like, I guess, be freaked out by a wall that can move and or teleport. Still unsure.
Honestly, I found even the early sections of the book where he's just trying to process the loss and the grief, that is more horror inducing than any of the other stuff for me. That's, I guess, what I mean by grounded. Like, there's enough to just the basic exploration of grief that this other stuff piled onto it. I didn't find it very effective. I didn't really connect with it.
I'm a little bit of the opposite, where it's just like, how many pieces of media do you hear? It's like, yes, this is about grief. Yes, this is about trauma. Mm-hmm. It's like, sure, yeah, of course. Let's do something with those. And this attempted to. I don't necessarily know if it completely succeeded. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I do appreciate that the sort of the arc is that he's not going through those stages of grief, or he's not trying to reach some greater truth, like that her death had to mean something. Or, you know, that he had to realize that she loved him the whole time, you know, something like that. It's just that, okay, I'm now going to mourn her finally. Just that on its face.
Sure.
Rather than, you know, because he let everybody else mourn and he wouldn't let himself mourn. And now he's just finally going to start doing that.
I can appreciate that. I guess this type of, and this isn't even a fair criticism, and I don't even mean it to be, but just this type of horror novel might not be for me.
You know, like it, because it threw me for a loop. This wasn't what I was expecting either. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I said, I thought there would be more involved with the AI assistant. Like, you know, I thought it would have a little bit more commentary there, and it really doesn't. There's like just references to like gig work and stuff like that, but like it's not really has anything to do with the point of the novel.
No, he's actually free from any sort of financial or economical like restraints, because he's inherited a lot of money from his wife that passes. So he's like unburdened from any of that, and he's free to not grieve, essentially. He's free to just avoid everything.
Right.
So I don't know. I think the synopsis did sort of tease at some things that weren't really explored in any real depth, which is disappointing. I don't know if that's more of a marketing thing. It's not,
I would say so.
Yeah, that's not something I would put on the author or the work itself, but you know, it was well written. It was there are certainly moments that took me by surprise and that I found were effective, but overall just not for me.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There were some passages that really were very evocative for me, but again, it was more in line with encountering the cook and like what like kind of otherworldly demon / entity it is.
Yeah.
And like the fact that it was just not doing this for any specific purpose, but just because that is its nature is much more terrifying than the fact that it's just like targeting him for some plot related reason or some thematic reason. It's like, no, it's just going to do this.
Yeah, there was a feeling of inevitability about it.
Yeah.
Like he was always going to end up where he ended up. Trying to fight it or not.
That imagery of the fish in the well in the ocean or whatever, where they're going to suffer, and that's going to be you, and this is just what's going to happen.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, again, it was just hard for me to like. Okay, so he went to the woods, he encountered a wall with some markings on it. Doesn't know what that is. Then it shows up in his backyard. Then it can kind of skate around because it like got to his front door, and then it's back there. You know, it was just physically hard to be like, it's just a wall. And then like he crashed into it and it disappeared. Just things like that. It's like, okay, it's a wall, you know?
Yeah, and you know,
like it was hard to tell like what the wall was doing.
Yeah, very much anything. So. And I should mention I'm someone who very mostly reads literary fiction and memoirs.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm going to connect with the stuff that's more grounded.
Yeah.
Just the type of reader I am, I think. So it's not even a knock on this book, but I think you're right, though, in it trying to have too many representations of what it's saying. You know what I mean? Like it's too many things going on that are like supernatural.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So another miss, I guess.
Well, you know, I mean, it is well written. It does try things, like you said. It's a little unconventional in the type of story it's trying to tell, so it's not all bad. It's not all bad. It's more of a miss in for me specifically in the type of story that I gravitate towards.
Yeah. So we've moved up from Paul Bear's Club.
Oh, this is much better than Paul Bear. Paul Bear's Club was pretentious and the characters were completely unlikable, and it almost like makes me respect that author less than I did previously. So this book does.
I got worried whenever he started like referencing movies. I have to be honest.
Yeah, no,
I was really afraid.
Yeah, no, I hear that for sure. There's a little bit of trauma from Paul Bear's Club left over, but this book was not egregious in that way at all. So. I think this author is very sincere in the type of story that's being told here, and there's just no comparison. Yeah,
for sure. So you did have a pick for next time?
Well, yeah, I did pick up a book that came out recently, and I feel like it's at least based on the synopsis falls in line with a lot of the subject matter that we talk about. It's called Memory Piece by Lisa Ko. From what I understand, it takes place around the dawn of the internet, and it follows some friends that are either, you know, engaged in technology or arts and activism, things like that. And it kind of just encompasses a lot of the stuff that we've, you know, in a broad sense, a lot of the stuff that we've discussed on the show. So it seems like it might be worthwhile. That's just a suggestion. You know, take a look at it, see if it's interesting.
Adventurous, gritty, and refreshingly girl-centric.
Oh, well, all right. Where's that?
The New York Times.
Oh, that's the New York Times review, huh?
Yeah.
Does girl-centric just mean the cast of characters are mainly female?
Probably.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, probably. Moving from the pre-digital 1980s to the art and tech subcultures of the 90s to the strikingly imagined portrait of the 2040s. So it's the 80s, 90s, and today. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
Give it a shot.
No firm time frame on that.
No. Ooh, okay. This Atlantic blurb compares it to Don DeLillo. Okay, I'm in.
All right. Well, there you go.
All right. Yeah, no firm date due to brain broken.
Yes. I mean, this did just come out like a week and a half ago, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to follow along with us, get your copies anywhere but Amazon.
Yeah, just actually play it on the safe side there.
No, use our bookshop link.
Oh, there you go.
Because I do have a shelf created on Bookshop of all our book club picks. So you can find them all nice and handy there. I will leave it in the description. All four of them, even though one of them probably shouldn't be there, but I'm keeping it there anyway.
Because that's only fair. That's only fair.
Yeah. We did in fact read it.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that, we can't.
I picked it and we read it.
We can't just like erase one if we don't like it, unless there's like something like legitimately like problematic about it, which is not the case with that Paul Bear's Club. It's just not a good book.
Right. We got some movies to talk about.
That's beautiful cinema.
It's been a while.
It has.
I haven't even got to use a sound drop all episode. So Specifically, we were watching Zone of Interest,
just
the film that I referred to as the Nazi movie.
Just a way to commemorate 100 episodes with a nice celebration. One of the most unsettling movies I think I've seen in my entire life.
Yes.
Not even exaggerating.
No.
I really think that it might take the title, honestly. It's we'll get into it, but
it made me sit up and forward, and I couldn't look away from it. Yeah. There were some shots that were like, if Wes Anderson made horror, you know?
Yeah, I could see what you mean there.
Where there was like, oh, this is perfect symmetry, except for in the back, you can see the smokestack of Auschwitz.
Yes.
Like, this is horrific.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Jonathan, the Wes Anderson comparison, it makes sense, but Jonathan Glazer is a singular filmmaker. I mean, he has a style and he is zoned in on that, and no pun intended, and it is just truly something to behold.
Oh, that was only like a few of the few shots, you know, not the entirety of the, obviously. Yeah, like the way that like dialogue and setup of scenes is meant to be like sort of in almost any other context, the way that these characters will be talking would be like, oh, this is the moment that you feel for them. This is the sympathetic turn, right? And it's like, no, I am feeling revulsion. You're fucking Nazis.
Absolutely.
You are the leader of the worst concentration camp, and like the movie's not making you feel sympathy towards them, but like the setup of the scene is like evoking in any other film.
Yes, it's genius in that way.
Oh, a family is being torn apart and split up, and they're going to have to leave their home. But it's like, no, you're fucking degenerate psychopaths, and so I feel extreme hatred.
No, it's incredible in that way, because it is taking these like, you're exactly right, you're hitting it on that, like it's taking these like story elements that exist in so many other pieces of fiction, and then you're set, like just the mundane like family drama, and placing it in, I would argue, the worst place in modern human history. And you're just sitting with that for the entire duration.
Yeah. And you're stuck with these people.
And you're stuck with the people, and you have the constant, auditory reminder of what's happening around them, and the visual reminder of what's happening right beyond the focus of the frame, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's really something. I've never seen anything like it. I think it's the most unsettling movie I've ever watched, because of the setting and the context around it, and the ending really is, I was not expecting, because you're hit with, because it just transitions to present day, and the first thing I notice is the change in like clothing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? And then you realize what it is and where you are, and just the framing of that is incredible.
The way it transitions from the mundanity of Nazi living to the mundanity of just working at the Auschwitz museum.
Yes.
The remains of it.
All of the horror
is just
is out of sight in this film, but it's always present.
Yep.
Right? It's all about where the focus is in this movie, because there have been countless, works of art that examine the Holocaust, but this is coming at it from such a specific point of view. It's one of those things where it's like, I kind of can't believe it hasn't been done before. But I'm glad it's been done by this filmmaker, because it's astoundingly effective in the product here.
Well, because unless you, I guess, properly explain yourself and actually like put it to film, right? You say, oh, I want to make a Holocaust movie, but focusing on the day-to-day life of a Nazi. And then you immediately go, oh, well, that sounds like you're going to glorify the Nazis in some way, or something along those lines, right? Or, just in any way getting towards that line.
Yeah. Oh, it's wildly tricky. Yeah.
And for this to completely be like the most effective portrayal of the Holocaust I personally have seen, because like in school we go over the Holocaust. It was like probably every year, right? It felt like it. And unfortunately, it does start to border on desensitization to it, just because of, you know, hearing the same like facts over and over again. And then, of course, you know, we watch the movie, you know, Schindler's List and, you know, Boy in the Striped Pajamas. In Italian class, we got to watch, what was the movie? Oh, I forget. But there's the one in Italian with what's his face? I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It revolves around the cinema place.
Yeah. The Cinema Paradiso.
There you go.
The cinema. Yeah, there you go. So like, you know, there's so many movies that like you said cover this, but none of them really give you the horror of it. Like it is such a balance, because you either have like, well, you're gonna put on screen the torture of the Jews again, or you're going to focus on Nazis, and you might be wearing kid gloves handling them, you know? And this is just masterful.
It is.
Like, they're having a pool party and you hear gunshots. You don't hear what's happening, but you know that there are Jewish prisoners getting executed. You see the smoke. You know what's happening. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, the one that really cemented it for me was whenever they're talking about how the furnace works.
Yeah.
The Nazi commanders or engineers or whatever, just talking about how the furnace works.
It took me a second.
Like
it took me a quick second where I'm like, is this really? Oh, yes, it is. It is what they're discussing very frankly and very businesslike, and like it's like some blueprint for architecture. Like it you know, yeah. No, go on. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Like they're just talking about it like this is a regular like Friday meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's nothing. Like this is not being implemented because it's a more efficient way to murder scores and scores of people. Like, just,
I think for me, one of the standout scenes is one of the children just like playing with toys in his room in the middle of the afternoon on like a nice sunny day, and it's set to the sound of, you know, the camps next door, and this child like walking up to the window and like looking out, but then also just like staying focused on the toys and his imagination, and just like kind of growing up in this environment, right? Like there's nothing, it's a fascinating movie on so many levels, but then you also contextualize it with Jonathan Glazer's Oscar speech and just the timing of this movie's release with current events. And then the backlash that came from this Oscar speech, which at the time I thought was, for me, the most moving and memorable part of the Oscars this year. Just like him speaking from the heart about, you know, the horrors happening in present day, and you know, using his platform to sort of spread awareness of that. But then you have all these people in Hollywood just condemning him for that, from a place that I just can't wrap my head around. But then I think about this movie, and like you had, like I said, like these kids growing up living here, living an idyllic, normal, like beautiful, like life in a bubble that is next to the greatest horror in history. And it made me think of like myself going about my day-to-day business and then scrolling TikTok and seeing firsthand video of the horrors happening in Gaza, and like somehow compartmentalize, like being able to like live the life that I am living, and then also just going online and seeing this unimaginable horror that's taking place in the real world. I don't know. There's something to that. I don't know if this is like a fully formed thought yet, but there's just something to that. I think this movie is speaking to the way that those who are privileged can just kind of keep going despite what's like, it's a matter of proximity, right? Like this movie is literally next door to this atrocity. But us now in present day, being online, we can look at our phone screen and see the horrors there as if we're there, because we're seeing them happen in real time, essentially. So I don't know. This movie, unfortunately, will never not be relevant.
Yeah.
I just have to praise Jonathan Glazer for what he's done here, because it's extraordinary.
I will sort of piggyback you here. And so the scene where the oldest German boy and the younger one are playing outside, and then the older one stuffs the little one in the greenhouse and locks him in and just sits there guarding him, and he's playing Nazi, basically.
Yes.
And he just takes a seat and just watches his brother scream in the greenhouse, as you can also hear some other screaming from over the fence. And I immediately thought of a video I had seen of some bombings going on, and some people that decided to put up some lawn chairs and watch from their own safety, and sort of have a tailgate and watch some bombs fall from their own comfort.
Yeah, as entertainment and spectacle. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really something else.
It is. It's a movie that avoids spectacle at all costs too. It's a movie that all of the horrors, for me at least, were in the name, like just the setting. Just every time they say Auschwitz in everyday conversation, it's just like you know what I mean? It's
when the wife says that, like, as she's laughing, she says that they call her the Queen of Auschwitz.
Oh yeah. It's stuff like that.
Chills.
That's the word. It's chilling. It's complete chilling to the core, really. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. It's really extraordinary. And well done for Jonathan Glazer to strike a nerve so strongly with Hollywood that over 1,000. I would call ignorance or at least misguided people in the industry had to write a letter to.
Well, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that?
What's that?
Anybody could just sign their name to it.
What do you mean?
It was open.
Okay.
So you could just. It was basically a change.org petition.
Okay.
You could just sign your name to it.
So was that a bit of misinformation that it wasn't over 1,000 industry people? It was just over 1,000 people. Oh.
It was kind of over 1,000 people.
Now,
it started out as like 20 or whatever,
Well then, okay.
Like people in the industry.
Well, that's good.
That,
that's very good to point out.
And circulated it around. But if you actually like read all the names, some of them are like troll names, like huge ass and like stuff like that.
Of course. Of course.
So
now the actual headliner names, like Amy Sherman Palladino and the creators of The Americans, were they really signed by them?
Yeah.
Okay. For a minute, I'm like, give me some false hope that these people are not that.
Unfortunately,
out of touch.
Yeah.
Yikes. So an even bigger yikes to those real public figures that did tie their name to this, because there are even less. Well, I guess it's good that there's less of them than I originally thought, but. Oh, it's just
if you think of it that way, that it was like sort of just open to whoever.
Yeah.
Then only 1,000. It's like
okay. Just to. Unfortunately, it seems like the media themselves made a bigger deal out of that then.
Yes.
Which tends to happen. But you kind of see this throughout Hollywood everywhere, like with the cancellation of the next Scream movie over Melissa Barrera speaking out against the genocide and things like that. It's just a very twisted view that a lot of the of those in charge in Hollywood have of everything that's happening.
Yeah. I don't know how to transition.
No, extraordinary movie. Everyone should watch it. If you think you've seen everything there is to see in film about the Holocaust, you have not, because this is definitely, like we said, it's really doing something here.
Absolutely. Did you see Dune 2 yet?
No, I have not.
Yeah. Me either, because I watched Dune 1984.
The last Dune movie I saw was the Jodorowsky documentary.
Oh, sure.
Which was quite good.
Yeah, I watched the Lynch Dune.
Uh-oh.
Boy, is that fascinating.
Is it?
Yeah. It's 3 hours. I watched the whole thing. I just sat there and watched it like it was nothing. It is so like you can clearly see the stuff that is like, oh yeah, this is Lynch.
Well, sure.
And then all the shit that the studio just fucked with.
Oh, okay.
Like, it is so fucking obvious.
Interesting.
Like the fact that it opens with, I would say, a clean 15 minutes of exposition narration with concept art only.
No, this reminds me really quickly. I know we've moved on, but what did you think of the book ending of what they did with Zone of Interest, which is basically 4 minutes at the start of a blank screen and just audio?
I really liked it once I understood what was going on. I did have to check that my thing was
I thought there was something wrong with my stream.
I checked once because I had just changed TV devices.
Yes, that's right.
And so I wanted to see like if something with the HDR was fucking up. So I was like, well, I can hear it. So, but then I was like, oh, okay, this is on purpose.
Yeah, it's an artistic choice. And I did like it a lot too, once you get that clarification that it's not a technical issue.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, now you're going to where shit does not make any sense. Like like this movie is taking you there.
Yes,
like you're going to someplace bizarre. And so here you go. You need to brace yourself. I'm going to give you the space. You need to get ready. And so that's what it felt like. And then at the end, it's like, all right, you're going back to reality now.
So yeah, there's a gap there between the end of the movie and the credits too. Yeah, definitely. That's a good interpretation. Really that was really good. But anyway, Dune 1984.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, you can clearly see where the studio just fucked with it. So like narration with just concept art over top of it for 15 minutes to open the movie, where you think you have to explain the Harkonnen planet like over and over again.
Oh, that sounds miserable.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, obviously David Lynch is not going to do that. Like what? Like the fact that there was clearly editing mistakes left in, like a guy saying not like action, but like go, and then waving a hand in front of the camera.
Oh, wow.
Just left in. But then like there's so much shit that is like so obviously Lynch, where like he just like loves his big hulking mechanical shit with like steam and gears. You know, it's like, yeah, that's the good shit. Just this big giant brain thing, whatever the hell that's supposed to be. That really cool, like I don't know what effect you'd call it, where like he just like layers stuff on top of each other, like film on top of each other, like as a special effect. Like that's how he sort of does this sequence of like whenever they're actually traveling to Arrakis is so fucking cool. And then like, so like how the Fremen are supposed to have the blue eyes, right? So it's literally just like superimposed blue filter over their eyes. And most of the time it doesn't really line up properly, but it's, I don't know. It just looks like cool and like retro, I guess. The effect for the shields, like the body shields that they're supposed to have, like they hit the button for, looks sick as hell. Because it's just like this polygonal thing that sort of just like follows and is rotoscoped to them. And like you can't actually see them anymore, like beneath it. So it's just like these polygons fighting. There's like a lot of really cool stuff in it. And of course, you've got like Kyle MacLachlan just saying, I am Muad'Dib, like just like all the fucking time.
Which, yeah, sure. That only adds to the experience, I'm sure.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And then for whatever reason, they just have him just like say like Dune, desert planet, Arrakis, like all the time. For some reason, he just says it all the time. Or I guess like in his head or whatever. But like he does it all the time. It's so fucking funny. There's like action scenes of like dudes getting kicked down the stairs that are just like replayed back to back. There's like a lot of goofy shit like that like would obviously be like cut in a proper version. Big Hank from Twin Peaks is like the leader of the Fremen. There's just like a lot of really good stuff in it, but like it's really bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching it.
It's cool. I've never taken the plunge. As much as I love Lynch, that's been a blind spot for me on his catalog.
Yeah, it's like it's so fucking obvious what is his and what he wasn't allowed to fix or what the studio just fucking inserted in. It's just like it's night and day, you know? It's like, yeah, like Sting is in the movie, just like in a Speedo, just walking around all sweaty and shit. It's just really funny. I don't know. It's just a fun watch. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Now you've also seen the first of Villeneuve's.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you just waiting for 2 to come out digitally like I am?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Gonna watch it on my cell phone.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, people seem to like that one a lot.
Oh, the new one? Yeah. I've heard really good things.
And so I watched Dune, like, I don't know, this is probably like 3 weeks ago at this point. And so I shouldn't have done this, but I also watched Inland Empire.
Well, that's another Lynch I haven't seen.
Yeah. But so I'm going through a thing. I need to talk about this in order to have this kind of make sense. So I'm going through a thing where I have like a zapping sensation in my head, and I don't know why, and I'm getting it looked at.
That's the short of it. Yeah.
That's the short of it. And in my feeling kind of weird or whatever, and being not quite there, the other night I just was like, oh, I'm going to watch Inland Empire. I don't know why. Me being an idiot and forgetting that David Lynch fucking loves like electricity and zappy noises. And so it was probably not the greatest idea to watch this movie.
Yeah, but you were in a Lynch state. You were,
I was sort of drifting between the here and now. This movie is his most like dream like. It's wild. It's another 3 fucking hours because why the hell not? But it was shot like half of it is shot on like camcorder. And so it's like basically like handy shaky cam, but like camcorder. And it'll go between these shots of like getting right up in somebody's face, almost like a reality show from like 2002. Just like really right up in there. Like you're just like zoomed in on Laura Dern's face, like with a shaky hand.
David Lynch makes the real world.
Kind of. Yeah. And then you'll just transition to a sitcom set where people in bunny heads are just saying shit.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And then there's also the other stuff that's like clearly shot either on a higher resolution digital or like shot on film. But then it'll go back to like the shaky cam, and it's just like, Jesus, dude. You got Justin Theroux doing his thing,
Sure.
And of course, this is just like a showcase for Laura Dern, it's like, and she's amazing, of course. But yeah, he'll do his like lightning effects, and you look at the credits and he did his own sound design because of course he did. It's, but I also fucked up. I did the thing that I do sometimes where I don't know if I have the right version of a thing. And so I'm watching the movie and there's people talking in a different language and there's no subtitles. And I'm like, well, this is Lynch, he might not want us to know what they're saying. And so
I'm guessing,
2 hours.
Yeah, there should have been subtitles, huh?
Yeah, I got the 2 hours, and then there's just like a really extended scene of people talking in what I assume is Polish because there's like this whole thing with all these Polish characters. And so I'm like, I feel like I'm missing subtitles. And sure enough, 2 hours into the movie, I'm like, I think I need to go get some subtitles.
Excellent.
But then I was like, well, am I going to watch the movie like over again?
No.
Or am I going to keep trucking? So I kind of scrubbed back a little bit to some scenes that I missed without subtitles.
Oh, you did the best of both here.
I tried to. Yeah, I don't think I got all of them. But then I watched the final hour. And boy, I was actually not super far off with what I thought the scenes were about, actually. So I guess that's a testament to the actors, physical acting that they were still getting the point across, even though I did not understand the language whatsoever. Like this one scene, I knew that they were talking about a murder, even though they were speaking Polish. And sure enough, when I had subtitles, I was like, hey, you were talking about a murder. I was missing all kinds of other context, but I got that part right. Yeah, then it ends with Nina Simone and a bunch of what's the song? Is it Sinner Man? Yeah, Sinner Man. Like, and then the credits start, and then all these black dancers just sort of come out of nowhere and start dancing to Sinner Man. And then there's a guy just chopping or cutting a log with a saw. and then a monkey's there, and then the credits finish, and that's the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, that was amazing. That was amazing. It's just, yeah, it's like the way that he like layers these different styles of filming where the camera becomes like this, not only an active participant, but like you sort of get these layers of abstraction from meaning, because you have characters that are watching other scenes unfold through TV or through film in the movie itself. And then you have these like contrasting timelines that you differentiate between literally how they're shot.
You have an episode of the real world happening somewhere in there.
Yeah. And then like the way that these are all linked together, and then sort of some of them loop and some of them don't, but they're connected in other ways, either through symbology. Like there's this lamp, you know, or like it's the friggin' rabbits. And then there's like, I guess it's sort of in the climax. Who even knows if there's like arcs like that here, but like potentially one of the scariest effects I've ever seen that was like almost bordering on one of those like YouTube jump scares from like 2006, which is actually funny because that's when this movie's from. Just like this horrific distorted face that like you're not expecting at all, because none of the movie's been like this. Just completely distorts, and like, Jesus Christ, terrifying. There's so much here. It's like, it's wild. You got Jeremy Irons just hanging out, you know? I don't know. Yeah, it's you got certain parts where there's just like a droning noise going on in the background, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is good for me and my like tinnitus.
Yeah.
And like electric shocks in my brain to just hear this droning sort of noise that is just only in this segment of the movie. Or like only whenever like we're in this sort of, how do you explain it? I guess I'll call it an area of the movie.
Okay.
Just this droning noise. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. We'll just do that for a while. Yeah, Lynch.
That's exciting. Kind of getting through the Lynch catalog a bit more there.
Yeah. I think I only haven't seen now Wild at Heart and whatever that weirdo Disney movie he did is.
Oh, so you've seen Mulholland Drive then?
Of course.
Okay. I think there was a point where you hadn't yet.
I saw that back in college.
I guess that was longer ago than I realized.
I mean, I probably saw like a really shitty version.
Okay.
But yeah, I watched that back in college.
I think that's his best work outside of the whole Twin Peaks collection. At least that I've seen so far.
Blue Velvet's really good.
Blue Velvet is really good. Yeah, that's definitely up there as well.
Yeah. It's tough to pick.
It is.
You know, you got Eraserhead. Like, I mean, come on. Yeah. Yeah, I still need to see Wild at Heart. And then I don't even know if I like, it's like, does the Lawnmower movie count, you know?
The Lawnmower movie?
Yeah, that Disney movie he made about the guy that just goes in a straight line on a lawnmower.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not
like it's his movie. He directed it and everything.
You watched the monkey short film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I swear to God, it's the same monkey in Inland Empire. Oh, what's it called? The Straight Story. Yeah, it's a biopic.
Oh.
Alvin Straight's 1994 journey across Iowa and Wisconsin on a lawnmower.
Okay. It's like Forrest Gump, but just with a lawnmower. Or not at all.
Received the nomination for the Palme d'Or, the 1999 Cannes Film Festival.
I mean, I'm sure they'll just give Lynch an award for anything.
Probably. They fucking love him. Critically acclaimed upon its release.
All right. Can't say the same for some of his other work, so.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe I gotta watch the Lawnmower movie.
I think you might have to.
Yeah. And then since I've only been able to like watch movies and do not much else, I downloaded all the extended editions of Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten in that?
I finished Fellowship and I am an hour into the Two Towers. Because I put that on last night and then I was falling asleep, so I turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Fellowship is so good. It's like just so well made.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got like the 4K versions.
Oh, yeah.
HDR, got that Dolby Vision going on.
It's a series I have to watch all the way through. I don't think I've always seen bits and pieces, but I've never actually, no less the extended version. So I think I'd start with the just the regular ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's best. I was big into Lord of the Rings as a kid.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I was like obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I only had, because like these were expensive at the time. I only had the extended edition of Return of the King. and I think my grandma got it for me. And they were like expensive at the time because it came on like 4 discs.
Yeah, I was going to say
4 DVDs.
Yeah. Might as well be a TV series, you know?
Pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, I've been doing that and I haven't been able to do much else. We do a show. I feel like we talked forever.
Yeah, this is a solid. Well, I don't know what it comes down to after editing, but a solid 3 hours here.
Jesus, we did a lynch.
We did.
I think that's fitting for episode 100. Guess we'll see what I cut.
Yeah,
we'll see what I cut. I'll just leave you with a couple notes. I did not get to finish the beat. I talked about doing that worst beat in the world. I did not get to finish. I sincerely apologize. But now I have a great teaser for next season. So stick around. You'll get to see a new thumbnail. You'll get to hear the worst beat in the world. So yeah, episode 101, the start of season 4, like it matters, but we'll do that. Go check out Did It All for the Moogle as soon as I record the episode of Persona 3 finally in my 25 pages of notes. Because yes, I did finish the game the same day that Atlas announced the expansion for the game, which threw a bit of a wrench into my thing, but yeah, whatever. And also, Apple introduced automatic transcripts for podcasts. I would have liked a heads up because they're almost certainly using AI for that. But whatever, they're actually super accurate. Like all the bullshit terms that I just throw out on Moogle, like Pictomancer and whatever else.
That is impressive.
It knows like what to capitalize, and like it'll say Final Fantasy X for Final Fantasy X.
Oh, wow.
And like it'll get all the Roman numerals right. It's quite good, but I still have to go through and edit some stuff. So I'm slowly working my way through adding correct transcripts to the main feeds of the shows. But if you're already on Apple Podcasts and you use them, you can already get the auto-generated versions available to you immediately. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Have any feedback? If you are also wondering what the hell was up with that Last Dating is Dead, email podcast@deadendroad.media. Or if you have thoughts on this thing between us, or literally anything else we talked about, podcast@deadendroad.media. Check out the website, deadendroad.media. And yeah, we will see you in the next season, I guess.
That's right.
All right.